What's going on, golf addicts? Welcome to Tour Junkies After Dark, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. We are the Tour Junkies, and we are here to break down the Memorial 2021 from Muirfield Village in Columbus, Ohio, Jack's Place. It's a fantastic event. It's an invitational tournament, only about 120 players. It's going to be a lot of fun. This is a great field, star-studded field, and we're excited to get into it. We just recorded our own shows on our YouTube channels, and now the podcast juice, as we like to call it, is flowing, and we're ready to have a good night. We're ready to have a real good night, Pat. We're going to talk about the golf course, about Muirfield Village, what it takes to play well, and we're going to talk about some outright bets that are catching our eye on DK Sportsbook, and maybe a few top 20s that we'll throw out there. We like to talk long shots with the Tour Junkies, so we're going to get into some of those. It's going to be a good time. We've heard from some caddies on the ground at Muirfield Village today, so maybe we'll share a little bit of that information with you. All in all, it's going to be a fun 20 minutes or so. Go ahead and hit the thumbs up button if you can. Give the video a like. Subscribe to the DraftKings YouTube channel if you've not already, and let's get into this. Pat, hit us with the course breakdown for Muirfield Village.
Yes, well, it is a great golf course. Jack's Place, as they like to call it, is a par 72. It's been stretched out to just over 7,500 yards with some major renovations over the past year, which I think are going to be important to note, and we'll talk about that here in a second. You've got 120 players in the field this week. T65 and ties will make the cut, and we've got a fantastic field. There's a lot of good players here, and we typically get a lot of good players on this course just because not only is it Jack's Place, but it's a great tournament. Falls in a good time of year just before the U.S. Open here in a few weeks. But you talk about the renovations here. Most of them came on these greens and around these greens. They have all new bent grass greens here. They've changed the bunkering a little bit around these greens. They put sub-air underneath all of these greens so they can dry them out real quick if they need to. And, you know, the greens are always going to be like Jack likes them. He likes them quick. He likes them fast. He likes them undulating, just like you see at Augusta National. So that's what you have here at Muirfield Village. Now, we do have bent grass fairways, which means they're going to be pretty pure as far as the ball sitting up there. And Kentucky bluegrass rough, which I think you'll get pretty thick this week. You know, Jack mentioned several times with the renovation that he wants this course to be a test of all things for players. He wants it to be a short game test. He wants it to be an approach play test. He wants it to be a test off the tee, which he's done a little bit more here. He's narrowed the fairways a little bit more than they used to be. It used to be where I think Bombers had a little bit more of an advantage than they're going to have this year. I think accuracy is going to be a little bit more key. But this is a strokes gained approach, ball striking course, still a second shot golf course. And then you got to get hot with a putter on these bent grass greens. That is as simple as I can make it this week. I do want to look at course history here. A little bit less maybe than years past, but I still think the course is going to play very similar to how it has been, looking at ball striking, looking at strokes gained approach, and putting on bent. Your past champions, Jon Rahm at 9 under last year. You had Patrick Cantlay. By the way, I should add Colin Morikawa also won the Workday Championship here. They played them back-to-back. So he won that last year. You had Patrick Cantlay in 2019 at 19 under. You had Bryson DeChambeau in 2018 at 15 under. Jason Duffner in 2017 at 13 under. And then William McGirt at 15 under in 2016, which might give you a little hint that maybe some long shots can do a little something on this golf course.
Yeah, you know, you've definitely had, I mean, you mentioned Jon Rahm, Patrick Cantlay, Bryson DeChambeau won the last 3 years. So you got a little bit shorter numbers there. I don't know, Bryson was probably up there a little bit. I was in 2018 before he became...
I bet he was in that 20 to 30 range. When you
think? Yeah. I bet he was longer than that. I mean...
Maybe so, yeah.
2018, I bet he was longer than that. But you definitely had a little shorter numbers here, But, you know, William McGirt, Jason Duffner, David Lingmerth has won here. There have been some bombs that have won at Jack's Place. Now, This does tend to play a little tougher than most events on the regular PGA Tour rotation. When that happens, you tend to see the cream rise to the top. I think that's probably what we're going to see this week. We've got, in terms of betting odds, we definitely have more in that shorter to mid range that we're interested in, with a few long shots sprinkled in there. But I think that's what you're going to see. In terms of some information that we got from caddies on the ground today, they one would definitely echo what you said, that this is a much after the renovations. This is a pure ball strikers golf course. It takes a little bit of the Bomber's Paradise advantage away. Jack added some trees. He's tightened some things up. He moved some tees back, bringing more bunkers into play. That's a thing. So anyway, that's something to think about. We'll obviously have more information from our caddies on the ground as we get a little closer to Wednesday evening. So you can find some of that information on tourjunkies.com by joining the Nut Hut chat room on Discord. So I'm with you, man. This is second shot golf course. This is putting on bent grass. This is putting yourself in the fairways, positioning yourself to attack these greens, and and being able to win a tough golf tournament against the best in the world in tough conditions to score in, which you're going to get at Jack's Place. So it's going to be a fun event. I'm looking forward to it. This is going to be this is a great golf tournament. I love watching the Memorial every single year. It's good stuff. By the way, happy Memorial Day if you're watching us during on Monday night or Tuesday or whenever this is published. Thank you to all those who served our country and their families as well. We appreciate you. Thank you, and happy Memorial Day week and Memorial Day weekend. Hope you had a good one. Let's take a look at the top of the betting board here, Pat, on DraftKings Sportsbook. John Rahm at 11.5 to 1 is your favorite. And then, now we're recording this on Monday night, so things may have changed. 11.5 to 1 for John Rahm, but then it kind of drops pretty significantly. Victor Hovland and Justin Thomas at 15 to 1. Rory, Morikawa, Xander, and Jordan Spieth all at 16.5 to 1. Cantlay at 17 to 1. Bryson at 18.5 to 1. That's kind of the shorter range before we get into the 20s. What are you going to do here in the top tier, top side of the range on DraftKings Sportsbook?
Well, my two favorite guys here at the top end are Xander Schauffele at 16.5 to 1. I like that number for him. Whether you're playing him in DFS or betting him or whatever, I think that's a good number. And, you think about it, it's probably about the right number with the way this field is, but still, I mean, he's a guy that plays tough golf courses very well. We've seen him play well all year long. So I like Xander here at 16.5 to 1. And then I like Bryson at 18.5 to 1. Now, we talked about how these fairways have been narrowed a little bit, and he has been a little bit erratic off the tee, but I just feel like that's a good number for him. I just, you're getting Bryson as the the 9th or 10th favorite in this event, when he just won, a couple months ago, and he's won twice this year on tour. So I think that, Bryson getting a little bit longer here at 18.5 to 1, it's time to jump in there. And, maybe he'll, who knows, maybe he'll just hit every fairway. I doubt that's going to happen. No, that's not going to happen, but still. It's really not just the fairways, I think, for him. It's the approach play. Like, he's got to get the approach play down.
That's bad.
And then I think, we'll see the good Bryson come out, which could be this week. And I'll take him at 18.5 to 1.
Yeah, I can't get with the Bryson call. The approach play's bad. Definitely struggling to hit fairways, even when he's clubbing down. We'll see. I'm not really buying the Bryson love. I really love Colin Morikawa at 16.5 to 1. He did win here, but he won the workday. The golf course was set up totally different. But the iron play from Colin Morikawa is unreal. I mean, it
is
borderline unprecedented on the PGA Tour. The run that he's on, not just in the short term, not just in the long term, but for all terms. Okay, Colin Morikawa's irons are incredible. He just can't putt. God, Morikawa, just figure out how to putt, and you'll win 2 out of 5 weeks.
He would win.
He would win all the time.
all the damn time if he can putt.
Just putt. It's unbelievable how putting just trips up some of these guys. And then Patrick Cantlay for me, incredible record here at the Memorial. You mentioned him, past champion. I was on him for the PGA Championship when he was 4% owned on DraftKings. Nobody wanted to touch him. I knew it was coming around. I knew he'd figure it out, and he has. The irons are back to what we're used to seeing out of Patrick Cantlay, but I think we're still getting a little bit of the discount because we've only seen, the books are only looking at one good tournament at the PGA, but before that it was pretty ugly. I think we're still getting a little bit of a discount on Cantlay at 17-1. I will take it all day long for Patrick Cantlay. So big fan of that.
Okay. All right.
Working down the board a little bit. I don't have a whole lot here, but Hideki Matsuyama at 30-1 interests me a little bit. It's kind of, I feel like maybe the Masters just kind of, unleashed the beast a little bit with Hideki. I thought he was going to come out at the Byron Nelson and completely mail it in. He didn't. He made the cut, finished T39. Okay. Not anything to write home about, but definitely came out, shook the rust off, did his thing. Then he got to the PGA, finished 23rd. But he's got a decent record here at Jack's Place, a 6th place finish in 2019, 13th place in 2018, which is probably going to set up a little more similar to what we're going to see this week. Hideki checks a lot of boxes. He's not the longest on tour, but he hits a ton of fairways, a ton of greens in regulation. Like a lot of guys, it comes down to the putter for Hideki. But I like the ball striking, and I like the number at 30-1. Working down a little bit, I'll take us into the 50, 60, 70 range, and then I'll let you go. I love Shane Lowry here. The Irishman is a major champion winner. He's won a WGC event, and he checks literally every single box around the green. Driving accuracy, strokes gained approach, recent form, history here at Jack's Place. Love Shane Lowry at 60-1. I think it's a really solid number. I'm going to throw out the miscut last year at 2020. I do think, again, kind of a different scenario. Second event off of COVID, blah, blah, blah. T15 here in 2017. But Shane Lowry continues to impress. T4 at the PGA, T9 at the RBC Heritage, which is a short track. You got to hit a lot of fairways and greens. So I'm a big fan of Shane Lowry this week. 60-1, I think, is a good number on DraftKings.
Okay. Don't mind it. I will start with Joaquin Neiman here in this range. I like him at 35-1.
Remember when you used to call Joaquin Neiman Joaquin? What did you call him?
Joaquin.
Yes, you used to call him
Joaquin Neiman. Jeez. I'll take Joaquin this week at 35-1. You look at his approach play. He's top 25 in the field, top 15 in ball striking. Does putt well on bent grass green. So I like Joaquin Neiman at 35-1. Then Charlie Hoffman at 55-1. Look, Charlie has just been incredible lately. He has been playing some of the best golf of his entire life without winning. But I think he can win this week. If you go across the board with the stats I like, he is number one as far as my model is concerned. I'm bringing up a model here, but
I love it when you talk
third in ball striking, second in strokes gained approach, seventh in good drives gained, first in par 5 scoring.
Scurrying.
The guy
first in par 5 scurrying.
He's scurrying.
Charlie Hoffman is scurrying on the par 5 now, dog.
Anyway, look, so I have a hard time avoiding old Charlie Hoff here, and the only reason he's not any shorter is he just doesn't have a win lately. And that's it. Other than that, he checks boxes more than almost anybody in this entire field, or he does. So at 55-1, I'll take him all day long. And then the last play for me is Gary Woodland at 66-1. Another guy that we've seen play very well lately. He's played well on this course. You look at his approach play, top 25, ball striking, top 25, 32nd in the field in par 5 scoring. He finished T5 here at the Workday last year. I like the way he's trending. He could have finished top 5 or 10 in the PGA Championship, but just kind of, just didn't play very well on Sunday.
Yeah.
But other than that, I like the way Gary Woodland is trending, and I like that 66-1 number on him as well.
Okay. Um, Before we get into the triple digit numbers, I do have to say I can't stop betting Matt Wallace.
Mm.
The Englishman continues decent form here as he's now full time on the PGA Tour. His first time seeing Muirfield Village was last year coming out of COVID. He finished T4, and the form has been pretty solid. Now, in the last couple weeks, he's finished 56th and 55th at the PGA, 56th last week at the Charles Schwab. I'm a little concerned about Matt Wallace's iron play. It seems to be fading a little bit, but all in all, he's a pretty consistent iron player. He checks the box in strokes gained off the tee. He's good. He's 14th in this field in the last 24 rounds putting on bent grass. He's a good scrambler. He hits a lot of fairways. He's got a little bit of distance to him too. Like Wallace just kind of does everything pretty well. So I mean, 85-1. I'm willing to kind of overlook the tough last couple of events where he still finds a way to make the cut. But obviously, we're talking about winning here. But I think Wallace has the chops to get it done, and he's going to be confident coming into Jack's place after that T4 last year. Getting into the triple digits, I'm going to give you two names, Pat. I'm going to give you two names. Harold Varner III at 125-1. I'm a believer. You know, I've been betting Harold Varner for freaking years, and he's never won on the PGA Tour. He's almost won on the PGA Tour a bunch of times, but he's never fully slammed the door. But if Dirt McGirt and Jason Duffner and David Lingmerth can win at Jack's Place, then surely Harold Varner III can win at Jack's Place as well. He checks all the boxes. Approach, opportunities gained, off the tee, around the green, good drives, hitting fairways. His putting on bent is a little lacking, but I mean, even if you look at his ball striking record here, just at Muirfield Village, it's pretty solid. You know, even despite the last couple missed cuts, but he's coming around. Just finished runner up at RBC Heritage at the Harbor Town, a golf course where he got hit a lot of greens, a lot of fairways. I think HV3 is definitely an interesting number at 125-1. And the irons are trending nicely right now, so I'm a fan. Patton Cazire is the last one for me at 140-1. Old, big, tall, long Patton, right? Like, hits it a long way, great putter, and he's finished third place in 2 straight events, and he's a 2-time PGA Tour winner. So it just feels like if Patton can get himself in the mix on the weekend, he's a guy that can close the door even in a big field like this. It's not too big for him. At 140-1, it's all about, you know, can he hit his irons okay? Can he hit some fairway? Actually, the irons have been smoking hot. It's all about, can he hit some extra fairways? Can he hit 2 or 3 more fairways than he normally does? I think that's possible for Patton Cazire, so I'll go with him. That's it for me.
Well, I like it. I'll start in the triple digit here for me with Taylor Gooch at 110-1. I like him a lot this week. He's a guy that you look at his ball striking stats. He's top 30 in the field. He's 13th in strokes gained approach, top 20 in the field in par 5 scoring, proximity from 175 to 200 yards, which is where I think they're going to have a lot of iron shots into these greens. And then he's top 40 in the field in bent grass putting as well. I think Taylor Gooch has a chance to do extremely well this week. I like him at 110-1. If you don't want to pay that, then you know, just take him as a 3-1 top 20 bet. And then another guy that I really love is Charles Schwartzel. He is at 175-1 right now. I think you got to jump on that right now while you can. Now, I don't know how long that's going to be where it is, but you look at his stats. I mean, top 40 in ball striking, approach, strokes gained around the greens, good drives gained. I mean, he's an accurate driver of the golf ball. Not really putting well on bent grass greens lately, but we've seen him putt well in the past. I mean, obviously he's won the Masters. That's bent grass greens. Yeah. So I think Charles makes a whole lot of sense there at 175-1. If you don't like him at that number, bet him as a top 20 at 5-1.
Okay.
So there you go.
Yeah, I kind of like that for Charles. I got a few 5-1s. I mean, HV3, who I mentioned, is 3.5. I mean, I said 5-1s. I have a few top 20s. HV3 is 3.5 to 1. Cazire's 4-1. Talked about both those guys. Matt Wallace is 2-1. That's kind of shorter for me. I think Aaron Wise at 4.5 to 1 is just it feels a little icky, but you do it. I mean, Wise plays tough courses well. He just sucks at putting. He can kind of play these like club down accuracy courses a little bit. Despite being a longer hitter, he's a PGA Tour winner. He's flashed a little bit of form here lately. He just sucks at play. He can't putt. He's a lot like Morikawa in that regard. I think that's probably it for me, top 20s. But I like the Charles bet, 5-1. You got any more top 20s?
Only other top 20 I'll add, and I'm gone on record as saying that I don't think this guy can ever win you any money. But I think I figured out that he might
promising.
He might could win you money on a top 20 bet, even though it's like it's not like this is some crazy thing that nobody ever knew about. But I think Luke List it is a top 20 this week at 5-1 is a good bet.
Listen,
maybe he will finally win you money.
I am always a sucker for a Luke List bet. I'm always a sucker for a Luke List bet. He's a lot like Aaron Wise. He's kind of a longer hitter that actually does play accuracy courses pretty well and can't putt. So he's very much like Aaron Wise. All right, that's it for us. Tour Junkies After Dark, presented by DK Sportsbook. Go ahead and give the video a thumbs up. Check out the Tour Junkies YouTube channel as well. We got our DraftKings DFS preview and our betting preview up on that channel. Obviously, you can listen to us wherever you listen to podcasts. Let's have a great week for the Memorial. It's a great field. Should be a good time. May your screens be green. Hit some bets. Let's go. See ya.
Oh!